Are off to a fantastic start. Look at this. 15 home runs in 3 games. It was against the Brewers. I'm so curious what Pedro would say if he's staring down the mound at a Torpedo bat, the new bat the Yankees, among others, are using. And maybe as a result, we're not certain because he's not using it, but some of his teammates are. They are legal. Explain the difference, Jimmy.
Well, what they're doing is just moving the center of gravity. They're changing the sweet spot. So every bat, well, traditional bats are somewhere between where the barrel and I guess where the handle start to merge when they form the bat. And between that and then the bat, you have about 3 or 4 inches that is considered the sweet spot. But what they're doing now is shifting that sweet spot down. We always hear hitters talking about, I just missed it. Usually when you just miss it, meaning the ball just got in where you just missed the sweet spot. So science and baseball is saying, you know what can we do to take that away? That when I just miss it, because we want to let the ball get deep, we want it to travel, it causes you to miss the ball in as opposed to off the bat. If we can change the center of gravity, we can make the sweet spot a little bit in that where I just missed it, you're going to get the results that you're seeing. Now, the opposite is I don't know what happens as you hit it towards the end of the bat, which is never good, but with the traditional bats, you still had some weight there.
Sure, it changes the weight distribution. Would you have used it?
With the amount of information they have now, telling you, hey, you're hitting the ball on this part of the bat. If we can move the bat there, and therefore where you're hitting it, you can be rewarded, you got to think about it. And baseball players are very superstitious, and if we get something and it works, we're going to stay with it. Case in point, the first time I got a maple bat in my hand, I got 3 hits. I never put it down.
Never went back.
You know, and that's the thing. We've seen trends like this before. We went from ash bats to maple bats to birch bats. We went from the axe handle to the hockey puck handle. So there's always been changes and tinkering in the bats. And if you get hits, Lauren, you're going to keep using it.
You talking about bats?
Oh.
By the way,
I got my little torpedo, but I'm ready.
That's an accurate
I am ready.
For the first time ever,
they have Flintstone.
There you go.
For the first time ever, Jimmy. For the first time ever, they made a bat that, according to you.
You know what?
A little bat.
I think I could come out of retirement after this.
You're not getting jammed on that one.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Listen, I'm going to add a little bit to what Curtis said. There's a lot of data and information about how this bat was made for different hitters, kind of like the golf players that had their own clubs made according to how they are.
Yep.
Well, that also takes me to believe that there's some adjustment that needs to be made by the pitchers, because when I see Volpe with a little thinner bat at the end but thicker in the inner part, he's exposing exactly what his weaknesses are. So it's just a matter of time and execution until the pitchers make the adjustment to seeing what kind of barrel you have, where your defect is, and I'm going to go and attack those areas with the best of it, or maybe expand those areas where you're weaker. And with the amount of information that's being handed to the pitchers and the rest of the league, it's just a matter of time and execution. Remember, I'm talking about execution, because some of those pitches that you saw the Yankees hit out in that game against Milwaukee, those were triple pitches. Those were pitches that were mediocre. For Nestor, he got ambushed. He got ambushed on 3 pitches against 3 good guys that have a lot of power. And what they have to do is use quality pitches from the get-go against a team like the Yankees, especially this early in the season, which is really hard to do for the starting pitchers.
You know, it's so interesting. That's right, that you likened it to golfers, because Aaron Boone was asked a lot of questions about this, and this is what he had to say about the new bat some of his players are using. I want you to listen to this.
I say to you guys all the time, we're trying to win on the margins and trying to get, and that shows up in so many different ways, whether you see, bat models, we saw the momentum steals that Volpe does, you see shifts, like when I say those kind of things, like we have a big organization that are invested in a lot of different things where we're trying to be better in every possible way.
Now we're talking Jimmy's language, by the way. because he likens it to a golfer. You're not going for a 3-day trip with rentals.
No, not at all.
Why? Because they're custom to your swing. It's the same thing.
Exactly that. The lie, the flex in the shaft, your swing speed, all that contributes to what happens with the ball. When you're hitting contact, you're hitting on a toe, you're hitting on a heel. So why not have a bat that's custom made for my swing? And I'm happy that the players are doing so, because every other sport has something that's custom. We usually get the order of the length and the weight. So if we wanted, a little top heavy, they don't cup it. If we wanted, 32 ounces, but we wanted it cupped at the end, they're going to get a denser piece of wood, cut out the end so they so they can get the weight accurate, and it distributes the weight in the barrel slightly differently. But if I have a swing that says every 90% of my swings is this, I have a bat that's made for that, I should get better results.
It's always evolution of man. We sit here and talk about that all the time. Guys are throwing 104 at times. Is this, I know, right? Is this the hitter's thing?
It could be an advantage for the hitters. The hitters are always going to be behind. But one of the best things I remember older players telling me, they said one of the great things about getting to the big leagues, you can design your own bat. If you want a thinner handle or a bigger up top, or you want to make it longer, you could do that. And now you have even more options to hopefully help you out. But Pedro said it. Even with the best bat, even with the best clubs, if I don't execute, I'm not going to get the hits. In the games that we saw with the Yankees and the Brewers pitchers, unfortunately, were not executing. It didn't matter what bat you were swinging. Balls down the middle of the plate, those hitters are going to hit the ball.
I totally agree. And you saw, Judge is not using Torpedo bat.
He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to, but when he hits it and it's not well executed, forget about it.
He was asked, are you going to use it? He's like, excuse me? 62 home runs? I don't need it. What about Cody Bellinger? That park is tailor-made to his swing. Before the 2025 New York Yankees, there's Heine Groh of the Cincinnati.
Wow.
That's
Look
extreme.
At that thing.
Is that a cricket club? Oh,
Bam, bam.
You know what I'm going to do with that?